Today's adventure takes us to one of the most legendary antique shows in the world, the Brimfield Antique Flea Market in Massachusetts. Brimfield isn't just a flea market, it's the flea market. Started back in 1959, it's grown into the largest outdoor antique show in the US, stretching for a full mile along Route 20. 3 times a year, in May, July, and September, thousands of vendors and treasure hunters gather here to buy, sell, and explore. We're talking everything from quirky collectibles and vintage furniture to Halloween oddities, tiki treasures, and the kind of weird, wonderful finds you didn't know existed until you stumble across them. This place is part treasure hunt, part history lesson, and part endurance test. You really never know what's waiting in the next tent. Have you ever wanted to go to Brimfield but feel that you'd be overwhelmed considering the thousands of vendors spread across miles of fields? Don't worry, I've got you covered. I've been going to Brimfield since 2017, generally twice a year for the May and September events. While I have attended in July, the heat and humidity make it less enjoyable for me, so I tend to skip that one. I'll share my top 10 tips to help you plan and survive your first one-day trip to Brimfield. So how do you survive a place this big? It all starts before you even set foot in the fields, with your gear. Start with the basics: comfy shoes, comfy clothes, sunscreen, water, and a backpack, tote, or wagon if you're serious about shopping. Brimfield is a marathon, not a sprint, and you'll thank yourself later for being prepared. With our gear ready, it's time to talk strategy. Make a list of what you're hunting for. Brimfield is massive and it's easy to get distracted. Having a list, along with measurements or reference photos, will help you stay focused and avoid bringing home something that doesn't fit. Even with a list, Brimfield's scale can be overwhelming. That's where timing comes in. Decide what day to go. Refer to Brimfield's website for the show's listing. This will tell you what fields are open on a particular day and if there are any fees for that field. If you are a serious collector, you may want to visit on opening day. Just note that the crowds will be heavier and you'll have more applicable field entrance fees. I've only personally been to Brimfield towards the end of the week, Friday or Saturday. I like Friday best as I find it to be less crowded. My favorite fields are open and there aren't as many fees, leaving more funds for those treasured finds. No matter which day you choose, there's one truth about Brimfield: you won't see it all. And that's okay. Brimfield is just too big. Plan to pace yourself, enjoy the hunt, and remember that's the perfect excuse to come back for the next show. When we go, we try to get to every field, but we don't always hit that goal. Our very first visit, we tried to look at everything because you never know what you'll see. But realistically, we learned we could avoid booths that were unlikely to match our hunt. For instance, if you're looking for tiki or Halloween, you are unlikely to find them in a booth that has all shabby chic items. That's not a hard and fast rule though. Sometimes the best finds are the ones that came from an unexpected booth. Now let's talk logistics. Before you can treasure hunt, you've got to park. Parking is plentiful, but not free. Expect fees anywhere from $5 to $20 depending on the lot and proximity to the fields. Bring cash and allow time for traffic when you're arriving, and especially when you're leaving. Once you've parked, you'll see that Brimfield isn't one big market, but a patchwork of fields, each with its own personality, hours, entry fees, and style. Some are free to enter, others have small admission costs. Some open early in the morning, others at specific times, and some close earlier than others. For instance, Maysfield is listed on the website as closing at 7 p.m. Every Friday we've been there, a lot of vendors seem to pack up between 3 and 4 p.m. During your planning, take a look at the field map on the Brimfield website and give some thought to how you want to navigate the fields. We parked at Quaker Acres. We started with that field, then crossed the road to Hurton's. We had to return to the car to drop off some heavy purchases and get some more water out of our cooler. We then moved on to Auction Acres and up toward the town hall. We then crossed the street again, back to the Quaker Acres side, to visit each field headed down past Brimfield Barn. We then crossed again to the Grand Trunk side, visiting fields along the way back to Hurton's for a final purchase before returning to Quaker Acres. If you can plan a rough loop of all the fields that begins and ends with wherever you park, you'll stay better oriented to which fields you've been through and which fields you have yet to visit. Each field has its own vibe, and the dealers are just as varied. You'll see everything from highly curated booths with museum quality items to general dealers with piles of treasures waiting to be dug through. Decide what style you prefer, the thrill of the hunt or the assurance of a curated collection. While it's not always the case, some fields are loosely organized by dealer type. For instance, you may notice a lot of vintage clothing or mid-century dealers located near each other. All that treasure hunting works up an appetite, so let's talk food. You can absolutely pack your own snacks and water, or you can try the fair food. There are tons of food vendors from classic fair favorites to local specialties. We personally bring all of our own water, snacks, and sandwiches. It helps us keep moving without waiting in line for food or drink. But if it's your first visit, taking breaks may help make everything feel less overwhelming. There's a large covered pavilion with picnic tables in Auction Acres that's a nice place to rest. You'll want to think about how you're paying for those treasures. Cash is king at Brimfield. While some vendors take cards or Venmo, plenty don't. There are ATMs, but lines and fees can be a pain. Come prepared with smaller bills so negotiations go smoothly. Some items are clearly marked, others aren't, which means you'll need to ask. When negotiating, keep it respectful. A friendly attitude goes a long way with vendors. Something that we consider is what the item is worth versus what the item is worth to us. Is it something on our grail list, something we can't live without? Is it in a condition that we're okay with? Are there chips, tears, cracks, etc. that we can live with? Figure out what criteria is important to you.
Hi friends, it's another adventure day. Today we are at Brimfield in Massachusetts and we're going to see what treasures we can find. Let's go!
This mask is wild. It's made with real human hair and teeth. Fascinating and unsettling and definitely unforgettable. And this booth doubled down on curiosities with a real human skull. But that's the beauty of Brimfield. You can move from the unusual and mysterious to the whimsical and nostalgic, sometimes just a booth away. Brimfield is also a place where artists showcase their craft. Amongst the vintage booths, I found these shadow boxes of amazing hand-cut 3D art. Spooky season is here, and a booth like this is packed with curiosities that bring intrigue and wonder to any collection. This ship is built entirely out of matchsticks. I can only wonder how many hours went into making it, but it would absolutely command attention as the centerpiece of any nautical bar. Well, it's about 11 a.m. We've done 2 fields, found some small things, which will be in the finds later, and moving on to our 3rd field. Let's keep walking. At one of my favorite fields, I couldn't resist stopping to flip through some vintage Halloween die cuts. They were some of the cutest I've seen in a while, so of course a few had to come home with me. really liked the look of these hats and thought they'd be cool props for the tiki bar. Unfortunately, what the dealer felt they were worth to him was too far from what they were worth to us, so we thanked him and moved on. This lonesome concrete moai was hiding in a vast sea of vintage clothing. You just never know what you'll find or where you'll find it. The art on this menu was fantastic. It was marked 22, we made an offer of 15, and the dealer countered with 10. This was the deal and dealer of the day. I'm not saying that I wanted to move into this booth, but I'm not saying that I wanted to move into this booth. So much whimsy. It may seem like an unlikely substitute for your local craft store, but Brimfield is full of creative fuel, trims, beads, and endless inspiration for the next project. Every turn at Brimfield reveals something new, from the everyday to the extraordinary, and everything in between. Matchbooks used to be souvenirs from almost everywhere: restaurants, bars, hotels, even airlines. These little gems are inexpensive, easy to bring home, and full of character. I'm always on the lookout for tiki, Hawaiiana, and Disney designs. The Field from May's Antique Market has many booths with higher end antiques, the kind of pieces that feel like they belong in a museum. But this is Brimfield after all. So between the fine furniture and collectibles, you'll still stumble across the weird and wonderful, like a cigar smoking alligator. Forget treadmills. Brimfield is the antique and flea market fitness plan. Field after field, booth after booth. If nothing else, Brimfield guarantees you'll hit your step goal for the day. Find enough treasures that you need to lug back to the car, and you'll get your weights in too. How I'm feeling after 5 miles of fields. I should caution that Brimfield doesn't guarantee that objects aren't haunted, and these dolls? Cursed. Definitely cursed. Displays like this make me pause. It's not just about collecting, it's about how you frame the story. I look to pieces like this to inspire how I showcase my own treasures. The sun's getting low and the day's wrapping up. Vendors are packing up their booths for the evening. We're making our way back to where we parked, slowly of course, because every few steps something catches our eye. These little discoveries are what make Brimfield wonderful.
It's 5:29. We've been here since just around 8 and we're still ready to shop, but the vendors are closing up, so it's time to go find some food. It was a great day. We found some treasures, which will be in the find section, and can't wait to share those with you. And would we come back? Absolutely.
And with that, you're ready to take on Brimfield. So how did our adventure turn out? We may not have seen it all. Honestly, I don't think anyone could. But we found some treasures we couldn't leave behind. That's what keeps me coming back. The thrill of the hunt and the stories waiting behind every booth. I hope this helps you plan your first trip to Brimfield. Is there anything I didn't cover that you have a question on? Drop it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel and lets me keep bringing you more DIYs, thrift hauls, and treasure hunts. Until next time, keep chasing dust and wonder, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Now let's check out some finds. We'll start with our first group of tiki bar finds. Couldn't resist this lovely wooden turtle bowl with mother of pearl inlay. Moving on, we have this fantastic molcajete, not tiki, but we thought it would be a great place to display poi pounders in the tiki bar. It's currently holding some of the floats we found at Brimfield. We found a Coco Joe's Coup, a Marwell chalkware bust of a lovely wahine, and this Marquesan style tiki. The floats had also come as a lot with netting. And finally in this batch, you'll see the matchbooks we found that fit our tiki, Hawaiiana, and Disney vibe. This next batch is the remainder of the netting and float lot that we purchased. Can't wait to get this worked into the bar. Last of the tiki finds, we have the Tonga restaurant dinner menu. Now we'll have to be on the hunt for the perfect frame or shadow box for it. Now on to the spooky finds. First up, some Halloween die cuts from Eureka. Look at the faces on the pumpkins and cats, so stinking cute. Haven't seen bats like those, but they definitely weren't skipping leg day. I also found some older cake picks to add to my collection, and these vintage earrings were also too cute to pass up. I also found this vintage copper Thunderbird necklace and this stone spirit bear. Love the turquoise inlay. I found some black burlap fabric for potential future Halloween crafts and a vintage fabric sample. I love the pattern and thought I just may be able to make an accent pillow out of it. Lastly, I found two vintage burlap and yarn tablecloths. I plan on using them both in my seasonal decorating. The black one may end up as my Halloween tree skirt. Can you believe these were only $1 each? That's a wrap on all our finds. Thanks again for sharing the adventure.